welcome to Adaptation, the vlog where we normally talk about film adaptations and the original material they're based on. I'm Kendyl Bryant, and this week I'm flipping the script. Now, we're all aware of Hollywood's obsession of turning stage musicals into film versions, from Sound of Music to Les Mis, Rent to Into the Woods. Long and short-running productions have seen varying ranges of success on the big screen. Not that I'm complaining, mind you. They could actually be a little bit more obsessed if you ask me. Having to wait until 2019 for Wicked is completely unacceptable. But this week, inspired by my recent Hairspray spotlight, we are looking at things the other way round. Films, whether musical or not, that inspired musical stage productions. It happens a little bit more often than you'd think. And to be quite honest, a little bit more often than I'm comfortable with. That, of course, does not apply to the first musical on our list, Singing in the Rain, which was originally a 1952 film starring the dazzling Debbie Reynolds, Donald O'Connor, and Gene Kelly, who also directed and choreographed. It wasn't adapted to the stage until 1983 in the West End, and I have to admit that I was really surprised it took so long to make it to the stage. But I imagine the actual singing in the rain sequence probably took a fair amount of thought to pull off in front of an audience. Safely, at least. Next, the 80s were apparently a wealth of musical inspiration. Of course, we have 1988's Hairspray, which was turned into a musical in 2002, and you can hear more details about that in my Spotlight vlog. But also we have 1984's Footloose. Side note, I was completely obsessed with the Footloose soundtrack in high school, which I listened to on cassette. And 1988's Heathers. The film Footloose is not a musical, but the lyrics to the songs in the film's soundtrack are mostly written by Dean Pitchford, who also wrote the screenplay after hearing about real events that took place in Elmore City, Oklahoma. There's a link in the info section if you want to hear more about the real story behind Footloose. When the film became a stage musical in 1998, Pitchford is also the one who adapted the screenplay along with Walter Bobby. The brilliant black comedy Heathers, starring Winona Ryder and Christian Slater, was brought to the stage as a musical in 2010, written by Lawrence O'Keefe and Kevin Murphy, and directed by Andy Fickman. Fun fact, there was a reading of the production in 2009 where Kristen Bell appropriately read for the part of Veronica, and I personally would commit actual murder to see a tape of that. The next wave of movies to inspire musicals came in the early 2000s. I have no idea if this is some kind of pattern or it just happens that the 80s and early 2000s are time frames that our hosts are just really familiar with. Side note, I am the one who contributed all of the 80s movies. The 2001 film Legally Blonde hit stages as a musical in 2007, and I will be watching a recorded version that I found on YouTube immediately following the editing of this vlog because Elle Woods is an inspiration to us all. The movie is based on the novel by Amanda Brown and her experiences at Stanford Law, which I've never read, so I'm not exactly sure what is based on what, but the wiki page claims that the musical is based on both the novel and the film, so that's what we're going with. 2001 also gave us the movie Shrek, and another soundtrack for me to be obsessed with, this time on CD. The movie was actually based on the 1990 children's book by William Steig, but I have no doubt that the musical, which premiered in 2008, is based mostly on the film. Looking through the track list, though, it doesn't look like the music is, which is a major disappointment to me, being obsessed with the soundtrack and all. But if you've seen it, let me know if I'm jumping to conclusions. Then in 2002, we have the first time in the next decade that we have to watch Uncle Ben die on screen, in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man starring Tobey Maguire. This is another one where I have to trust the wiki, which claims that the 2010 musical Turn Off the Dark, with music and lyrics by U2's Bono and The Edge, is based on this film in addition to the Marvel comics and the Greek myth Arachne. And something about this just strikes me as hysterical, and every time I think about it, let's move on. This list, of course, would not be complete without a shout out to the many stage musicals based on Disney films. 1991's Beauty and the Beast came to the stages in 1993, 1994's The Lion King in 1997, 1989's The Little Mermaid in 2007, and 1992's Aladdin in 2011. All of these stories are of course based on previous legends, but we all know that the stage productions are based on the Disney films. The minor exception is 2004's musical Mary Poppins, which takes elements from the 1964 film as well as the books by P.L. Travers. Last, but currently most exciting, this year a stage production of the 1997 Fox animation Anastasia is going to hit Broadway. Based on the legend that the Grand Duchess Anastasia escaped the execution of the rest of the Romanovs, this is another soundtrack I obsessively listen to. Musicals and soundtracks are my main form of auditory bliss, to be quite honest. So let us know if we forgot any of your favorite musicals based on movies in the comments, and don't forget to check the info section for a link to our podcast on iTunes, especially if you're interested in hearing our thoughts on the most recent Beauty and the Beast movie musical. Until next time, keep dramatically singing along to soundtracks in your car. You know that I will. Grandmama, it's me, Anastasia. Sorry, this is me dropping my coat. I don't know. It's fine.